Well, I'm Nathan Jones. So I ended up going to a D3 school in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which was Methodist University. I played all 5 years due to COVID. So 2017, man, it was terrible. My record was terrible, man. And I played corner that year. And after my freshman year, I ended up switching to safety. So I was able to learn the versatility of the game like early in my career. But long story short, I'm thankful that I was able to turn that program around. I did have some thoughts in my mind of transferring to higher competition because I love playing ball, man, and I realized that it's hard to continue to move forward at a D3. But just my career at Methodist, like it was a blessing. I ended up tying the score interception record there for senior night. I've I was a team captain for 4 years, and I was, it's crazy. I really felt like I should have been All American. I don't know how that works, but it's wild. But it's all good though. I was all conference for 4 years, but hey man, it was a blessing. God put me with the right people, the right foundation, the right structure, and I was able to have my career just go smoothly from there. So with me playing the fifth year, I ended up graduating during COVID in 2020. So in 2021 fall, that was actually my fifth year. So after that year, I was trying to figure out how to go about the process of being a pro. So, like I said, when you coming from a small school and you don't really have a lot of people, D3 is mainly focused on education. So when you go to a D3 school, they're not talking about furthering your career outside of football. They're talking about, hey man, what job are you gonna get? What do you plan on doing? Are you gonna join the military? And then Fayetteville is a military city, so a lot of people do join the military from here. But I did want to further my career in ball, and one of the things that I did do wrong was I did not find a reliable agency. So throughout my 2021, well, 2022, throughout my 2022 and 2023 years, for the most part, I had to get out of a bad contract in 2022. So sort of signing with an agency or signing with a team would have been pointless because I would have never made any money due to my agency and the issues that were going with my agency. So I had to pay my way out of that contract. Throughout that time, I was just going to certain camps. Um, I loved going to the grid and the hub camps. Those are always great camps to go to. I love the competition. I met a lot of great guys. Shoot, met Arth, one of them, man. So it was fun, but you really do meet like high level competition there. So moving forward into 2023, I had a stint with the Fayetteville Mustangs, which is a AFL team, but they went bankrupt, and so it was a bad organization. Not talking bad about the people because I'm close to the people, but when you know how infrastructures work and how systems work, you could tell the ship was going downhill and sinking. And my mindset at that time was, especially playing ball in college for 5 years, you don't want to be on a team just not getting paid. So I just removed myself out of that situation before they ended up going bankrupt. Then, so um, later on that year in 2023, what I'm doing right now, I'm coaching college ball. I'm actually coaching at Methodist University. So with that, I've learned so much more about the mental preparation of the game. Like man, it's chess, man, and it's fun, but it's also you got to be such a huge server. You got to be such a you got to know how to. you got to have such a demeanor about yourself, man. Like you can't just spaz on people just because you're having a bad day. You got to really go out there and coach every day. You got to give your all every day. Like coaching to a high level of expectation, day in, day out, regardless of how your players are acting or feeling, is it can get tough at times, but it is worth it when you realize that it's just a game of football versus this is a young man's life at the end of the day, and you want to impact the young man's life. And once you impact his life, you should be able to impact his play on the field. And if you can't impact his play on the field as a coach, it's my job to light a fire under you and find somebody that's going to make you compete or take your spot. That's just part of the game. But um just right now though, so I literally just finished my second year on the staff. So I have been going to um different IFA camps. I went to the Tampa Tornadoes camp over the summer, and I went to the Alabama Beavers camp I believe in late July before like the actual college football season started. And I had some good I bought out. I believe I bought out. But like not having an agent, you got to market and manage your own stuff because I'm gonna be honest, like I just didn't have good run-ins with agents, man, and I don't got the resources to be throwing out just hoping that somebody's going to do something that I could do for myself. Shoot, I remember getting in contact with Arth one time, and she was a great lady, but the contract that I did have, it just wasn't doing what it needed to do at that time when I did ask you how that agency was. But
Hmm.
she was sweet lady, like sweet lady.
Yeah.
And that was the best thing I needed. I just like, hey, let me get this specific deal and we could go from there. So I know one of the biggest things like throughout the years of trying to further my football career has been like growing mentally and spiritually. Um, I went from ignorant college student to really growing into a young man, understanding how I could pass along certain information to other young men who are trying to further their careers or actually really just letting them like or really just sitting them down and having a hard talk with them and letting them know, hey, listen, this isn't the best route for you. So realizing that I just had to I just had to grow and the growth is there. Um I'm staying in contact with the coaches, so I'm really just waiting to see how next year February is going to be handled. I know the Tornadoes are still putting together their list of who they're bringing out for camp. The biggest thing that I'm in the dark about right now is um the camp rosters or people getting in contact with me to let me know like, am I invited to camp or am I not invited to camp? So that's one of the biggest things right now. But other than that, I've really just been in the weight room. I've really been growing my mindset when it comes down to the game, and it's really cool because like 90% of the game is knowing and mentality versus the physicality. So I'm just, I would say I'm getting better regardless. But that's a that's a summary of literally from just college on to where I'm at right now.
Yeah. So to really kind of get the full grasp of the story, it kind of really begins in high school. But I
Oh
won't
man.
stick long there and won't stick too long at Texas Wesleyan either. But I mean, had some opportunities to potentially play Division I football at like your FCS or lower FBS level, like your Georgia States, your UABs, and some other kind of smaller FCS schools like Houston Baptist, now Houston Christian, and some other schools there. But popped my collarbone on a field goal hold once I was already pulled out of the game, winning 30-6 or 34-6 or something like that. And popped the collarbone and showed up to my Georgia State official visit that next weekend. And hey, now you're damaged goods. You were second on our list for quarterbacks, so now you're off. We're going to give it to number one. And then they pull, so then UAB pulls when I go there. Sanford pulls when I pull there, and stuff like that. So it turned into I didn't know where I was playing college. Was invited to an all-star game out in DeSoto High School in Texas. Funny enough, for the Dallas Pioneeros, I believe, will be playing their games. Played in a showcase game there, and Texas Wesleyan was there starting up a program. And I was like, hey, NAIA school, chance to go in and play, go transfer D1, and go. So went to Texas Wesleyan, was expecting to build a program and then get out and leave, but fell in love with the school. Had a lot of adversity when I was there too. So it was 4.5 years and 2 degrees of a lot of great work of being a starter, being demoted to scout team, and holding a clipboard on game days up in a booth, helping chart plays, running against the number one defense every single day in practice, to becoming a starter again. And then COVID hitting when you're graduating with your master's, and then you're not able to return because you graduated January of 21 when they split the season in half, one season in 2 different semesters. So then that kind of gets to where you're at in the pro career. I was like, all right, well, it's time to head off and try to make a pro career, because I knew I wasn't done with football yet, and wanted to do everything I could. Had some job interviews, but I just didn't like what was going on and still felt like God was calling me to play football, and was able to move back home and get connected with the Peach State Cats, and started playing arena football there. At that level, played 4 games with them. Did really well, ended up winning Rookie of the Year with the Peach State Cats, led the league in passing and only playing 4 games when everybody else played 8. And around that same time, started working with Tom House, who's trained guys like Tom Brady, Drew Brees. And it started off as a contract to train with them, and then it's turned into coaching with them and getting quote unquote free training from them, because now I'm employed by them. And working with some elite Hall of Fame guys, and having some great guys in my corner, like a Cam Cameron and obviously Tom House and many others. I could be listing guys for days because of all the people that have invested and put time into me to help me continue to pursue this. But around that same time, I had an okay college career concerning everything that was going on, but then moved to professional career, and the Peach State Cats played well. Had some opportunities to go camping with the Atlanta Falcons, and then from Atlanta went to Tucson Sugar Skulls in 22 in the IFL. At the time, I was with that agent that Nate spoke of, and I didn't know I was going there to not even compete with the 2019 league MVP in Daquan Neal, so I was there as a backup. I kind of signed thinking I was going to go be the guy because of what my agent was telling me. And it was just like, oh, they've already got their guy. You're just going in to be the backup. But did everything that I possibly could do to be the best teammate I could, make plays where I could, and then turned into 7 of the 9 CFL teams wanted to work me out. And it happened to be 7 straight weekends in a row. So I made the very tough and difficult decision that sometimes I still look back on now as like a mistake I might have made in my career. Of leaving the Sugar Skulls before the season even really started, to go to those 7 CFL workouts weekend in, weekend out. And it created a lot of interest. That's where I went to my first hub camp, got some NFL interest from the 49ers from there, which turned into a workout with them. And some other things there, going to the Gillette Mustangs in 2023, then the West Texas Warbirds in 2023, and then 2024 with the Carolina Cobras. They ultimately made a different decision elsewhere to keep Guy Myers after he was released from a UFL organization. And so I was let go, but was able to move back home, play for the AFL's Georgia Force. And then, as everybody kind of knows now, if you've seen it on social media, because it kind of went viral, not my choosing, but it just happened to go viral. I was the guy that broke the news that the Georgia Force had folded, because obviously I'm on the team. We hadn't been getting paychecks, and I went public with it because the coaching career has allowed me, and hey, even part of the playing career has allowed me to grow a social media following, things like that. And so wanted to make sure that our non-local guys were being taken care of. And so I went went out publicly with what had been going on and what was said in our group text by the coach, and team folded. We never got paid a single dime, but we're very lucky at having and very fortunate to have a lot of people that donated to a GoFundMe that ended up paying for the 7 or 8 guys that we had in the non-local hotel housing to get their plane tickets and get out before they had to start paying hotel fees. So if anybody that donated that's watching, thank you again for that, because you got those guys home. Nobody that was local, which was most of the team, got any of that money. The only time the money ever hit my account was to distribute it to them because it was my GoFundMe. And so, yeah, I mean, I was fortunate that I was still working jobs as a substitute teacher all this time in between different camp stops and different arena teams I've played for and some other opportunities I've had. But being able to represent Team America to get some extra and more recent outdoor film has been tremendous and great. I mean, I'll be playing in another game in April, or not in April, excuse me, in December down in Tampa for international kind of showcase, just to, again, get some more outdoor film, continue to show I can play, I can ball, to send it to the CFL teams that have interest, the NFL teams that have interest. Multiple different NFL workouts, but I'm kind of in this place where I still need come to AI school. I still need a lot to kind of go my way to enter the door. They know I'm good enough to be there. I can hold my own when I'm there. It's just the kicking the door down and taking somebody's seat who might have played at a Division I school or might have even more better connections that I might have. So I'm kind of in this conundrum of got to keep playing somewhere, got to keep balling, and have those opportunities sway your way at one point, and then go take somebody's chair and never give it back. That's a game you don't really want to go back. I'm glad it wasn't filmed. It was a rough game, and they asked me to be a kicker. I've never kicked in my life, and they scored very quickly. Kicking an opening kickoff, it turned into an accidental onside kick because I topped the ball and they got the ball on their 5-yard line. So that's how that game started. Never, ever going to be a kicker I can hold. I'm obviously a pretty good quarterback, or at least I hope I'm a pretty good quarterback. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I'm not a kicker. If you want to ask about it, I'll give you the details of it. But yeah, so I mean, kind of tying things into the IFA, because I know that's kind of what we're on to talk about a little bit. I mean, for the past 2 years, I had done workouts in the IFA. Was in the IFA draft class last year before they pushed the season off. And I've been talking to Art Bryant for over a year and a half now, or however long this process has been that we've kind of known Art's been the coach there. I've talked to Hal Mummy, like Texas Wesleyan ran the air raid offense that Hal Mummy created, so Mummy was another guy I really wanted to go play for. But it just kind of turned into, okay, I'm in the draft class last year. They pushed back. We're going back around. So I was offered a camp contract by Alabama back in like April, but that's when I was going to the Georgia Force and felt like if I was going to the Force, even though it was a year away, I just didn't want to commit to a contract there. As we've seen, Alabama signed like 275 guys or something like that. So I've kind of not circled back around to it to sign the contract to have that. And plus, I live in Atlanta, but I have opportunities in Dallas-Fort Worth. I went to college there, and playing for a coach like Art Briles is something I really want to do. And so I've had conversations with them. I've gone to plenty of other workouts there, and I mean, obviously they haven't sent actual paper yet because I feel like Dallas is trying to slow play it, is what I've kind of heard. But I have been told, and with a couple other receivers I've talked to, that we will be getting camp contracts at some point, and go from there. So it's not official, but like I fully intend of being a Dallas Pioneer whenever they decide to send the camp contract that solidifies that, and not just a verbal offer. But in this business, it's verbal offers. And so you can never take a verbal offer as gospel. So then that leads me to the arena stuff. So since I hadn't been getting that actual confirmation of the camp contract to go in, I've got to find somewhere else as a backup plan. And so going back to arena football, even though I feel like I'm a better outdoor quarterback than indoor, Coach I was talking to a lot last year, and Coach Patrick Pimmel, he was with Duke City when he recruited me last year. I felt Carolina was a better spot for me just locationally to home and some other things I had going on. So I chose Carolina over that. But Pimmel came back around to have conversations, wanted to kind of build this new Shreveport Rougarou NAL team around me. I was in the last year with Carolina for a very short time. And so opportunity to kind of get some retribution for Coach Negron cutting me, things like that. And joined there, but their owner, I guess, just didn't like the style of quarterback that I was when the head coach wanted me. So the owner was signing other styles of quarterbacks. Coach Pimmel was talking to me, giving me playbooks, talking over plays, things like that. But the owner was the guy that ran player personnel. So I'd heard some rumors from a receiver who I trained with here in Atlanta that signed with the Amarillo Dusters team that they would be trading me. Like, I'm at a music festival with my girlfriend when I'm getting a phone call. I'm like, hold on, like what's going on here? And so I questioned the coach about it. He's like, no, you're not being traded. You're my guy, whatever. And then not even a week from being confirmed that I was not being traded, I got a text message while I was back working as a substitute teacher in Georgia before I was going to go throw with receivers after I got out of work, and was a text message saying, hey, you've been traded to the Amarillo Dusters. I wish you luck, whatever. It kind of blindsided me. And then once my phone kind of got cell reception back, because some schools I work at don't have cell reception, so I'm getting like text via Wi-Fi. I saw like my friends over at Shady Sports Network had actually gotten the news even before the text had dated to send to me. That was being told that I had been traded. And so a lot of this was just kind of a blindside to me that I never knew happened. And then fast forward to later that evening at the throwing session, I get a call from the Amarillo coach, and he's like, hey, Shreveport lied to you, right? You weren't traded. We did not agree on a package. Because I have a quarterback coming from Germany. I was going to trade to them, but I don't even think he's coming over here. So I don't want to put them in a bad situation. I'd rather just cut the kid in Germany, and instead of giving him that problem. And so they never agreed on a trade. And then it was basically me being told I was traded so that I could re-up with Amarillo, just being kind of happy that I was going somewhere to play where I was wanted, things like that. But before I signed the contract, Coach Trey Ivory wanted to make sure I knew the full details. So the ownership group had changed. This new owner, unfortunately, kind of messed up some housing situation deal that the previous team owner had already gotten settled. So players were going to have to pay their way for their own housing to play there. And yes, I have a place I can stay in Dallas-Fort Worth, but Amarillo is not Dallas-Fort Worth. That is like 8 hours away or 5 hours away or something like that. So I'm not going to be able to commute 5 hours a day to go play football for $300 a game. And so they were going to up my salary to $400 a game to be able to offset the difference in payment of that. And it's like, still, like, that's not enough to pay for your own housing if apartments are $1,200 a month or even $800 a month. Stuff like that. So I ultimately made the decision to not re-up with Amarillo, and then obviously have to correct those announcements that I made, things just being kind of misinformed in what was happening to me and in my situation. So obviously I know Amarillo's got some issues right now with the housing stuff. But the guys that are agreeing to go there, I think they're going to be a very great team. I'm kind of bummed I can't be a part of it because I think the coach is a really good coach. The players they have are really good. But again, I was looking at arena and still looking at arena or even overseas ball in like the early parts of the spring as just backup opportunities for my main plan of the IFA to stay here in America, get paid a pretty decent salary compared to other things, and play against some really good competition to continue to send that film to Edmonton, to Calgary, to CFL teams that have been like this close to signing me. Sending it to UFL teams like DC and Arlington, who I've had multiple private workouts with, but just quarterback opportunities haven't opened there for me to get in and go compete. And then even NFL teams where I've had multiple different NFL workouts, but I'm just that sliver off of an opportunity where timing and opportunity is got to be perfect to have that there. So a lot of it's just trying to, again, because I don't have an agent now. I've gone through 3 myself. and Brandy Runyon and Black Diamond was the best one that I had. And so it's just, I'm doing the marketing myself. I'm reaching out to teams myself. Obviously, I have Tom House, who has connections to the Saints, Colts, and some other teams where he's called on my behalf that has helped get me some other workouts or get me in front of more people that maybe an AI kid typically wouldn't. But at the end of the day, it's just trying to step in those footprints that I believe God's kind of directing me in and allowing him to take it and open up whatever opportunities. And I'm just going to be a good steward of every opportunity I'm given, do the best I can, give glory to him in doing it, and then see where that leads. And obviously, I've got a great platform as an athlete, but I have an even greater platform as a coach to continue to invest in lives and elevate others and things like that. So obviously, I'm nowhere near done playing football yet. I'm only 26. Like, I still got a long way to go in this, and I'm really close to making an NFL camp or NFL roster to actually have a serious shot at making it. So a lot of it's just continue to find places to play, get on the field, ball, continue to show it over and over again, rack up stats, and then that opportunity will come at some point.